Man, hip-hop beef used to be about diss tracks and mixtapes. Now we got radio legends, streamers, politics, and psychedelic tea all mixed into one messy group chat. So here's the situation. Drake drops a tiny reaction online and Peter Rosenberg fired back by calling him right-wing, and DJ Akademiks pops up like, cool story. Y'all need ayahuasca. Yeah, that's where we're at. Now before we get deep, let's be clear. This isn't about picking a hero and a villain. This is about ego, power, and how loud opinions get when the old media and the new media crash into each other. On one side, you've got Ebro and Rosenberg, veteran radio guys, gatekeepers for a whole generation. They come from that era where if you weren't getting spins on certain stations, you basically didn't exist. They see themselves as protectors of the culture, the ones who'll criticize anybody, even the biggest star in the game, if they think it needs to be said. On the other side, you've got Drake, arguably the most commercially successful rapper of this era, and DJ Akademiks, one of the loudest online voices in hip-hop. They don't need radio. They don't need program directors. They live on streams, socials, and YouTube numbers. Their power is direct. Fan to artist, fan to commentator. So when that long-running morning show gets canceled and Drake reacts with a little emoji, it hits a nerve. To his supporters, it's petty but funny, a you clown me for years, now look who's up moment. To his critics, it looks like a billionaire artist celebrating people losing their jobs. Same action, two completely different interpretations. That's where the right-wing label comes in. Ebro basically looks at Drake, looks at Akademiks, and goes, yeah! That's the same energy I complain about in politics. He sees them as part of this crowd that doesn't like being criticized, that loves playing victim while they're the ones with the power. And honestly, whether you agree or not, that's a heavy label to slap on somebody just off how they move online. Then here comes Akademiks, watching all this and turning it into content. Instead of getting all serious, he flips it into a joke. These dudes need ayahuasca. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, ayahuasca is a powerful psychedelic brew people use in spiritual or therapeutic settings. It's not some casual thing you just try for fun, and it's not legal everywhere. But the way Ake throws it out there, he's really saying, y'all need a deep, uncomfortable look in the mirror. Underneath the trolling, he's basically telling them, you've been calling everybody else toxic, out of touch, or bad for the culture. But maybe you need to sit with your own bitterness, your own ego, your own need to still be the main voice in hip-hop. And that's what makes this whole situation interesting. If you strip away the Stan Wars, there's a real question here. Who actually gets to define the culture in 2025 and beyond? Is it the radio hosts with years of history, interviews, and credibility in certain circles? Is it the massive artist who moves the charts and sets the trends? Or is it the online commentators who pull hundreds of thousands of views by reacting in real time? Because think about it. The right wing, left wing, industry plant, culture vulture labels fly around so fast now they don't even mean what they used to. Sometimes right wing just means you said something I don't like. Sometimes hater just means you weren't impressed. A lot of these words turned into weapons instead of descriptions. And in the middle of it, you've got millions of fans trying to figure out, am I watching news or am I watching people protect their brand? When Ebro and Rosenberg criticize Drake, some people see it as honest commentary, calling out a superstar who's gotten comfortable. Others see it as salty radio guys upset that the game moved on without them. When Akademiks laughs at them and prescribes ayahuasca, some people see it as comedy, just act being act. Others see it as punching down at people who just lost a major platform. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. You can respect what Ebro and Rosenberg have done for years and still admit they've got their own biases, their own grudges, their own blind spots. You can enjoy Drake's music and understand he's one of the biggest artists ever and still say some of his moves online are petty, corny, or unnecessary. You can find Akademiks entertaining and recognize that he helped define a whole new lane of hip-hop media and still see how his style can be messy, emotional, and sometimes part of the chaos instead of above it. The ayahuasca line, at the end of the day, is really about introspection. Not as medical advice, not as something anyone should just go out and try, but as a metaphor. It's Axe saying, You don't actually want to face the real reasons you feel threatened. You just want to point fingers. And if we're being honest, that applies to more than just them. A lot of people in media are watching their old power structures crumble. Radio isn't what it used to be. Labels aren't what they used to be. One viral clip can outrun years of programmed playlists. That's scary if your identity and paycheck were built around being the gatekeeper. At the same time, a lot of people in the new wave, streamers, YouTubers, online commentators, are realizing that with all that freedom comes responsibility. When your words move millions of people in real time, you don't get to say, it's just jokes forever. You're part of the culture whether you like it or not. So this little triangle, Drake, Ebro, and Rosenberg and Akademiks, is basically a live-action picture of where hip-hop media is at right now. Old school versus new school. Corporate versus independent. Critique versus clout. And yeah, ego is ego is ego. Whether you think Drake is right-wing or not, whether you think Ebro and Rosenberg are brave truth-tellers or bitter gatekeepers, whether you think Ak is hilarious or harmful, one thing's for sure. Everybody in this story could probably use a little less performative outrage and a little more honest reflection. Maybe not actual ayahuasca, but definitely a long look in the mirror. Let me know in the comments, whose side do you lean toward here? Or do you think everybody's wilding just a little bit? Thank you for watching. And if you enjoy breakdowns like this, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for my YouTube channel, The Short Clips Podcast.